What's up guys, Cocojobro here and welcome back to another video of Dead by Daylight. In today's video I'm going to give you guys a quick guide on how to play the new killer, the Cenobite, which is Pinhead from Hellraiser. So in this video what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over the base kit of this killer, right? We have to respect the killer's base kit, understand the strengths and the weaknesses of this killer and utilize that to help you play better. The second thing that I want to do is I want to go over the powers and just give you guys a brief overview, because if you don't utilize every bit of your power, you won't get a great advantage on the survive with friends groups or even just survivors who are really good at playing against killers. The third thing that I want to do is I want to give you guys good play styles, right, and strategies. I want to help you guys understand how to utilize your powers in certain chases. How do you create a map presence where you bring fear into your survivor teams, and just overall being a better killer. And then last I want to go over is advanced and beginner builds for you, because depending on what perks that you bring into this game, man, it can really sway the battle into your favor, especially the add-ons. Man, the add-ons for this killer are crazy and I can't wait to get into those. So let's get started. So let's go over to the killer's info section, right? Now the first thing you'll notice is that this killer is a 4.6 meter per second, 115% killer is what this is, the walking speed. So this is like your trapper, this is like your wraith. Moving on, we have a terror radius of 32, that's pretty standard, and then they're pretty tall, that's like your doctor, right? Now Summons of Pain is the power that this killer has. It's a very unique, but it's a very complicated power, but we'll divide it into two things. You have your chain hunt, and then you have your possessed chain. So with the chain hunt, this is kind of like your Freddy Krueger play style, where you have 60 seconds as a survivor group to grab a cube, which is called the lament configuration. If those survivors don't grab that cube, what happens is they'll every 6 seconds they'll get harassed by a chain. So if they're doing a totem, it'll poke them and they interrupt that action. If they're healing, interrupts them. Doing a gen, interrupts them. Anything that they're doing, every 6 seconds a chain will come and constantly interrupt them. This is really good, especially if you're looping and a chain comes and grabs a survivor. This will help you significantly in your chases to end it quickly. It stalls them, maybe it stops them so they don't get that running vault through a window over a pallet. It's super awesome to help you. So if they don't grab the cube within 60 seconds, a chain hunt starts, which is awesome. Now what they do is survivors have to grab it, they have to hold down the action button for a few seconds, and then they get it done in like 8 seconds or so. But what is really cool too is if you find the box before they do, what happens is everyone screams on the map, so their location gets revealed to you, and a chain hunt happens for a short period of time. It's a really good thing if you can find it first. It's just a little square box, it's yellow, it starts static electricity happens, and then you pick it up. It's great. Now the plus side of this too as well is if you down someone who is holding that box, then the chain hunt will happen as well. And the whole thing that I just explained earlier, everyone screams, everyone's location is revealed. It's awesome. So if they have the box but they didn't complete the game, then you can knock them down. Everyone's location is revealed. Now, one thing that you can also do too is if someone does find your box, then what happens is you can teleport to them only if they're doing the box, which can be it can be advantageous to you to keep the map pressure, so he can establish map pressure that way. You're chasing someone, injure them, then you go teleport to that person. Sometimes survivors will try to use the box while you're carrying someone to a hook. So if you do see that that heartbeat start to happen, get that person on the hook fast and teleport. So not only did you hook someone, but then you teleported to someone doing the box, and when you teleport, it keeps people immobilized so they can't move. The chains grab them, and then you can start a chase like them. So they're kind of like Freddy when he teleports across the map to gens. You can teleport across the map to get a chase started. So it's really good. Now your second power that you have is the possessed chain, and that's your ability button. So what happens is this is where like Billy comes into play. So you act like the nurse, where you hold down your ability button and you project a little aura, and that's where your chain will appear. And then from there you get to choose when you want to activate it, and then it swerves and serpents like a snake wherever you want. Now the point is you want to hit someone with your chain, because when you do, 3 chains appear out of nowhere. So your first chain grabs them, and then another one and another one. So in total it's 3 chains, and it holds them into place, and they have to pull out of it. And when they're doing that, that gives you enough time to maybe kick a pallet that they threw down or jump through shack window. It helps you in any way to slow the game down so that you can get that chase to end faster. So you can utilize that chain if you want. You can choose to, if someone runs around a corner, you can teleport that chain and hit them and then catch up to them before they get to a pallet. You can do whatever you want, but mainly the point of it is just utilize it when they're maybe trying to get distance from you. You can slow them down. It is up to you whether you want to use it if they're very far. I personally don't, because if you miss, then you just gave that survivor even more distance. So you want to use your chain about mid to close distance. That's when you want to use your chain. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. So let's move over to play styles. Well, mainly we kind of talked about play styles, right? When is the best time to utilize your powers? Well, again, just to give you a really brief overview, don't teleport to someone when they're using the box just because they're utilizing the box. Don't freak out if someone finds your box and your chain hunt isn't happening. You as a killer is to cause pressure and continue to get people injured and get them on hooks. This killer is really good at slowing the game down. That constant chain hunt is like having a pig ability, where if they don't get the trap off their head, they get hurt or harassed, right? In the same way, if they don't find the box, they get hurt or harassed. And the blessing that I didn't tell you is if people grab the box, they can't do gens without chains starting to grab them. They can't heal someone without getting chains to harass them. So their job is to get off of their gen and not do their objective, and to go over and do the cube. So that means you have 3 survivors that are doing the gens. Now this is a really good thing, because say you have 4 survivors, right? You have 1 survivor that is, let's say you got someone on a hook, right? You have 1 survivor who is on a hook. The other person has to go save that person off the hook, and now they're healing or whatever. You got 1 person on a gen, and then the other person has to get the box, and if they have to run across the map, whatever. If you're constantly keeping pressure on these survivors, that box is gonna act like a zombie in a way, right? For Nemesis, it's just another objective that's aggravating or messing with the survivors. So your playstyle honestly should just be constantly doing these chases, constantly getting on people, constantly harassing people. If you can constantly keep people off of your gens and slow the game down, especially having the chain hunts happening, especially forcing them every minute to get that box before a chain hunt happens, you are golden. And you've probably seen a video where I went against a toxic Swift who grabbed my box and I didn't have my power, but at least that kept 1 person from not doing a gen, right? So you definitely want to utilize your powers to your advantage. Keep the pressure on them as normal killers do, get into chases, but now let your box get someone else off of a gen, and now you have 2 people not knowing what to do, and then you can get someone else on a hook, and then that other person has to go and say, it's gorgeous. It's a hard killer to play, but trust me, the power does all the work for you. So don't panic, just do what you do best and just get into chases and you'll be fine. Now, another thing I want to do is mention, if you're looping and you're not really good at using your hook, right? You're not really good at hooking survivors. I would highly encourage you, don't be afraid to fail. Please don't be afraid to fail, because you only get better if you actually try. And if you're too scared, I don't want to play killer, I'm bad, who cares? Get good, right? Like, don't take offense to that saying. Get good, put in the time, trials and errors. If you're playing Huntress and you suck at hatchets, keep practicing. Get in a custom game with a friend, or if you don't have any friends, just keep practicing. You'll get better over time, and you'll see that you'll just see, like, for me, I love playing aggressive, and you'll see in the past videos I'm not aggressive, and then as I get to play the killer more, I'm more aggressive. Okay, so that's pretty much what I just want to encourage you guys. And then one more thing, if you guys didn't know, basic knowledge is if one survivor is on a generator by themselves, it takes 80 seconds, right? If 2 people are on a generator, it approximately takes about 44 seconds for that gen to get done. If 3 people are on it, it's about 33 seconds. And then if all 4 survivors are on a generator, then it takes about 27 seconds. So, you know, if you're doing chases and gens start to pop, don't be afraid. That's normal. That's normal for your gens to pop at the beginning of the game, maybe 1 or 2. So don't freak out. It's all going to work out for you in the end. All right, let's go over to some builds. Now, I want to go over just a really easy build for you guys, a super easy build that I think will help a lot of new beginners, because this is why. Not every perk is going to be available to you, right? You might not have the money to buy every DLC, but these perks right here, Brutal Strength, oh, actually Brutal Strength is a trapper perk, but I can switch this out for something else. But you can get Whispers, you can get Sloppy Butcher. Those are just basic perks. Like, those are the ones that just come normally. You can just get those. But maybe checking Brutal Strength out for Bitter Murmur might be helpful. The reason why I put Brutal Strength in, which is a trapper perk, is you kick pallets down 20% faster. Now, this is really good because when you get into a chase and they throw a pallet down, you can throw your chain, and once you throw the chain, while they're busy trying to get out of the chain, you can kick that pallet faster and then go over and smack them. But let's just go through these 3, and I'll tell you why I brought this perk. So Bitter Murmur is whenever a gen gets done, you'll be able to see the aura of those survivors that are near that gen. At the end of the game, you'll be able to see the aura of all the survivors around the map for a certain amount of seconds. This is really good because you'll know what to do at the end if you're just lost and everyone's just scattered. This is really good. And then also too, it'll let you know which direction the survivors are going if they finish a gen, left or right. It's really good. Whispers is great because at the beginning of the game, at the middle of the game, at the end of the game, it can be really hard to try to find survivors. You might just get lost, the game might slow down, or you're just not really good at finding survivors in the beginning. With Whispers, you'll know if survivors are in your vicinity, and it really helps you to know, okay, yeah, they're in this area. Okay, they're next to this gen. Okay, they're not, no one has left this area. They're all definitely on this side of the map. It's just a really good perk. Sloppy Butcher is incredible because, like I said, the longer the match goes, the more advantage you will have in the fog and the trials while you play as Pinhead. So Sloppy Butcher, whenever you hurt someone, they bleed a lot more. You'll see their blood trails more vibrant, they're bigger, and then also too, you'll be able to cause them to heal 20% slower. So it slows down the healing process, it takes the team more time to heal, and it buys you more time to chase people, or it buys you more time so they're not doing gens. Now, the only reason why I wanted to bring this one is because, well, this is his perk, and what it does is whenever you hook somebody and they get off the hook, they have a 9% penalty on doing gens and healing. So not only do you have this 20%, but now you have a 9% if you get to tier 3. That's almost a 30% slowdown on their healing, and then also too, you have their gen regression going down as well. So if you don't have anything, you can get these basic perks right here, and they come with every single killer. But then also too, you have this one which comes with this killer. So these are all available to you. Now, some other perks that I would highly recommend to bring as more of an advanced build, that was a beginner's build we went over, but an advanced build is, actually, let me do this. Don't bring barbecue and chili. If you find the box, or if you knock someone down with the box, everyone's location will be revealed. That's perfect. If someone gets the box and they start working on it, you automatically know where someone is. If you're hooking someone and then someone does the box, at least you know where half the team is. So I don't think barbecue and chili is, honestly, it's contrary to belief, I don't think that it's a really good perk. Corrupt Intervention. I think Corrupt Intervention is really good. This killer does struggle in the chases. It's just a basic M1 killer, right? You can use your power, the chains, but if you're not good with your chains, you're gonna need some time to buy you enough time to get some chases down and maybe force the survivors to come to you. Corrupt for the first 2 minutes blocks 3 of the 4 generators that are farthest from you, and you can force interactions. It's a very solid perk. I know it's super, cliche to run this perk, but I think it's really good for you to run this. In my opinion, I think some of the slowdown perks are really good. You guys know Pop Goes the Weasel is a clown perk. Kick a gen after you hook someone, 25% progress is kicked off. Hex Ruin, anywhere from 100 to 200% regression starts to happen on the gens that you scare survivors off, right? That's a Hex perk. That's Hag's perk. But I really like Dying Like. This is a Michael Myers perk, the shape. And mainly what it does is even though it does give the obsession unhooking and healing speed for 33% more, like whoop-de-doo, so they're healing, right? But what it does is every time you hook someone who is not your obsession, then you get tokens, and those tokens cause pretty much a 3% penalty per token on repairing, healing, and saboing. Now the main one is repairing and healing, and if you tie that up with like Scourge, look at this one, repairing and healing. So you can have, let's say you hook three or 4 people, you have 12% plus 9%. What is that? That's 21%. The more hooks you have, the more work you're doing. Let's say 3, 6, 9. Let's say you have 9 hooks in the game. 9 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 9 is 27. That's a lot of percent. It's a lot of percent. So that would be really good. So bring a slowdown perk. I think that would be really good. Like I said, Pop, Hex, Ruin, Dying Light is really good. Now another perk that some people might not think about running, but it's a fan favorite, is Save the Best for Last. Save the Best for Last works with melee killers, basic attack killers, and this killer is a basic attack killer. What's really good for you is to, every time you attack someone who isn't your obsession, you get a 5% cooldown. If you get 8 tokens, which is your max, that's a 40% cooldown, and you'll be smacking people very fast. It's a really good perk. I would highly recommend it. And then the last one that I would recommend for an advanced build would be your Surge. Surge is really good. Mainly when you down a survivor near any gens, all those gens will pop for 8%, and then they start regressing. It's a really good perk. In terms of add-ons, I would highly recommend running the Torture Pillar. It's a green one. It starts chain hunts faster, so instead of 60 seconds, it might be like 17 seconds. Another one is his purple add-ons. You could see the auras of survivors when you hit them with the chain. You can reveal people. It reveals the box, so you can find the box to get everyone's location revealed, and you're undetectable. There's just so many good add-ons for the purples. More chains spawned. Deep wound for injured people. You can hurt people with your chain. The box doesn't appear close for people. It's just all good. So I hope you guys like this video. I'm sorry if it was a little too long for you guys. If you made it this far, please definitely hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new. I really hope that this helps a lot of you Hellraiser fans, or maybe some of you are just new and like this killer, are interested in trying them out. I really recommend give it some time, practice, give it all you got. Don't be afraid to fail. You guys are going to do great out there. If you guys again love this video, please share it with your friends. I definitely want to grow on Twitch, and it's hard to break through the algorithm, so if you guys could just help by liking and commenting, and maybe just watching our past videos, it would really mean the world to me. But you guys are awesome. Much love to you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everyone.